protect the wealth that they have and have another revenue stream no matter what the markets do. So today they both had a very good day trading. Now, as you know, we had some real volatility in the market, and they were able to effectively time when to buy and when to sell. And they didn't do it on just one of the major averages. They did it on three of them today, and they both made money. And respectively, it was nice to see, because between the two of them, it was like this little game between newlyweds. Who could make more money? So they had some nice rivalry. We also had some students in the class, an older couple, Steve and Sharon. They've been married for many years. They have 5 children. And now that they are both retired, what they want to do is they want to preserve their wealth and their capital and pass something on to their children and grandchildren. So even though that each of those couples were here for somewhat different reasons and in different stages of their lives, they both enjoyed learning how to trade in the market, to invest for short-term income and for long-term wealth. And having a partner in it and having somebody that can help you to learn and to grow is really what it's all about. So they'll have partnerships at home to work with their spouses, and they're going to have partnerships with us at the Academy where we are teaching them how to do it, and we will be here until they learn how to do it.
Right, and once again, listeners, Online Trading Academy has been around over 18 years. Over 200,000 students have already experienced their education, and really you can too. And it all starts with getting a financial education. You got to get one from somewhere. I mean, think about this, listeners. No one out there is born an investor. No one out there is born a trader. I'm sure if your parents knew finance or they had a financial background and they knew how to invest and trade, I'm sure they would have taught you how to do it. And if you knew how to do it, you probably teach your kids how to do it. And if you don't know how to do it, you could be the link in the chain that changes this. I had a student in class here last week. His name is Jesus. He owns a small business down here in South Florida. He said, Blake, growing up, my family was spenders. They didn't really think about the future. They didn't plan for retirement. I own a successful business now, and, I'm making money. I'm saving money, and I really want to be able to change that in my family. And that's why people are searching out financial education, because trading and investing is just the transfer of accounts from the people who don't know what they're doing to the people who do know what they're doing. And a lot of people out there, they just want to get started. They want to know what's right from what's wrong. They want to know when to buy and when to sell. Most people out there, they just want some direction. They want a plan. And our sponsor, Online Trading Academy, they actually coach and mentor their students. I mean, they have in-house traders that really work with you hands-on, and they go over different things with the market with you, different market cycles, investing drills, trading drills, how to put together a written trading plan. If you have money right now in the markets and you don't have a plan for that money, you'll probably lose it in the long run. If you want to be consistently profitable in the markets, you need to be consistently doing the same thing. And if you ever want to be successful at anything in life, you just need to do what someone successful is doing, all right? And if you want to learn how you could change your family's financial future, if you want to learn how to generate income in the markets or protect and grow your wealth, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give away 20 passes. This is going to be for a half-day class on trading and investing for short-term income as well as longer-term wealth. If you have $1 or more in the markets, this class is really going to help you get started off on the right foot. If you're brand new to this class is for you. If you're not consistently making money, especially in today's markets with the markets being down, you need to be in this class. We're going to give away 20 passes right now. Get your phones ready. This class is free for you. It's normally valued at $1,000. You'll also receive a flash drive loaded with 4 powerful home study courses on how to time the markets. That's valued at $247. This is all free for you. We have classes coming up here during the week and the weekends. To reserve your seat, give us a call right now, 954-668-2510. 954-668-2510. One more time, 954-668-2510. If you're text savvy, you can text us right now to reserve your seat. You'll get the full schedule. They'll message you back with a link. You click on the link. You'll get the schedule. You can register on your mobile device. Text the letters OTA to the number 41411 right now to register immediately. Once again, text the letters OTA to the number 41411 right now to reserve your seat. Once again, they have classes during the week and the weekends. If you live in Palm Beach, give us a call. You live in Broward County, you live in Miami, give us a call and get your seat reserved. We have a few more seats remaining. 954-668-2510. 954-668-2510. And we talk about the markets, so far been in a down market. And a lot of people have been humbled pretty much in the last year, because last year we pretty much had a sideways, slightly down market. And I'm terrified out there that if the markets continue to crash and go down, that a lot of our listeners out there are just going to ride the markets down. I mean, think about this, listeners. I mean, if you had $100,000 in the market and the markets dropped 30% this year, I mean, how much is that going to cost you? How much is that going to cost you financially? It's going to cost you $30,000. Now, I don't know in your world if that's a lot of money, but if it is, what are you going to do to protect that? And that comes down to having strategies, and our partner Online Trading Academy, they have a market timing strategy where they actually teach you how to identify institutional levels of supply and demand. Now, if you're out there, if you've never, looked at price charts and all you've looked at is fundamentals, ask yourself this: how has that worked out for you over the years? It's about understanding institutional levels of supply and demand. And Chris, why don't you explain a little bit, how we're able to do that and make money in any type of market condition?
Well, in any market, Blake, you know that it's a matter of buying at wholesale and selling at retail. What the major banks and brokerages have really been doing, they are the buyers at wholesale prices. And as the markets have been ascending, they are then the sellers to the retail. The retail being the small investors, the people that invest in the mutual funds. And we've all been trained by the financial markets to invest in these mutual funds. When I have people that come to my market timing class, I'm never really shocked, but I will ask them, does anybody know the name of the funds that they're in? Most people know the name of the company, but not the individual funds. I'll ask them, do you know where you bought them? No idea. Do you have a strategy of what if the market goes down? Where are you going to get out? No. So they have only been listening to what they've been told by their banks and brokerages and financial institutions, and they really have no clue as to how the markets really work. So in the classroom, we go into the strategies employed by the institutions, the banks and the brokerages, and how they do their buying and selling. And one of the things that we identify early on with a very high degree of accuracy are market turning points. So when I have students that come into class and they will say, well, Chris, where do you think the market is going? And because they're afraid. If the market goes down, they know that they'll be losing money. And what I'll often say to them is, it doesn't matter to me what direction the market goes, because I know how to make money in an up market, a down market, or a sideways market. And the students that I've been teaching, I'm now teaching them how to be able to make money in an up, down, or sideways market. So it's irrelevant as to what the direction is going to be. We just want to be able to make money no matter what direction it goes in. So at the Academy, we employ a couple of major strategies. One is mentoring. You want to sit down and be in a classroom with somebody who has traded and invested for many years, so they have seen markets, not just the up market that we've seen from 2009 until, say, early last year, and then the market went sideways, and now, beginning of this year, it's been down. So you want somebody that has been in the markets and has seen several market cycles, and those are our instructors. We have several instructors at the Academy that have 20, 30, 40 years of trading experience. Several of our instructors have come from the Northeast, from trading on the New York or trading on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So we have varied instructors with a lot of different experience in all kinds of markets, not just stocks, but futures, forex, and options. And we have instructors that have now seen markets. They've seen cycles from bear markets, bull markets, and have worked through troughs. And they're giving their students the benefit of their wisdom in our classes. So it's not like our students are going out and they're alone in the market. They have mentors that can show them the turning points. And then we have coaches that write down trading plans with their students, so the students have a written plan. Blake, do you know of any successful business that doesn't have a business plan?
Absolutely not.
So how can people expect that they can be successful investing or trading in the market without a written trading plan. And the next thing I would ask, do you know any successful business that doesn't know what market it's in?
Absolutely not.
So we have some students come and they've given their money to banks and brokerages, and they don't even know what investments their banks and brokerages have put them in. So they really have been trained or brainwashed to a certain degree, the way Wall Street has most people. When it comes to their investing, they'll say, don't worry about your investments. Don't worry, just have to be in it for the long term. But when the market is going up, everybody seems like a genius. When the market's going down, you can tell who is swimming naked. Now that is a quote from Warren Buffett.
Right. I mean, think about this, listeners. You talk about retirement accounts. Are you on track to retire? I mean, are your accounts growing whether the markets are going up, down, or sideways? A lot of people out there, they have 401ks, they have IRAs, you're in mutual funds. Those mutual funds typically consist of stocks. So you are actually in the stock market, and you may have not even realized it. The question is, what stocks are you in? How is that mutual fund composed? But here's the big question. How much fees are you paying in your retirement accounts? How did they return last year in the markets? If you don't know, when you get home out of the car, you need to look at your statements and begin to figure this out. But if you want to learn more about your investments, if you have 401ks, if you have IRAs, 403bs, if you have money in the markets and you don't really know what's going on, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give away 20 passes. This is going to be for a half-day class on wealth management and better understanding the investments that you have. If you don't understand what's going on in your accounts, this class is for you. If you're not generating income in your accounts every single year, this class is for you. To reserve your seat, this class is normally valued at $1,000. It's going to be free for you listeners. All you got to do is pick up the phone and give us a call. You'll also receive a flash drive loaded with 4 powerful home study courses on wealth management. That's valued at $247. But to reserve your seat in an upcoming class, we have classes during the week, on the weekends in Broward County, Palm Beach County. Give us a call right now, 954-668-2510. 954-668-2510. 2510. You can also text to register. We have classes coming up here on the weekend, during the week. You could text the letters OTA to the number 41411 to reserve your seat right now. Once again, text the letters OTA to the number 41411 to reserve your seat today.
Trader's Edge Radio Show has been brought to you by Online Trading Academy in South Florida. Online Trading Academy teaches how to trade stocks, options, futures, and Forex, and how money is made in up markets, sideways markets, and down markets, all with limited risk. Learn using our money, not yours, in real classrooms with certified instructors who currently trade and are profitable. If you want to plan a better retirement or supplement your income, learn the right way to trade and invest. Attend a free class to see how it works at Online Trading Academy in South Florida. Half-day classes meet in Broward and now our new location in Palm Beach. They're free. Call now, 561-674-9800. That's 561-674-9800. 561-674-9800.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, it's Jay Foster. Join us 7 days a week from 2 to 3 p.m. for Health Connection Radio. We'll talk about natural cholesterol control, toxic metal syndrome, how to reverse bone loss, and the latest scientific research on vitamins and minerals. We'll have fascinating guests, and we'll take lots of your calls, too. So join us 7 days a week from 2 to 3 p.m. for Health Connection Radio right here on WNN.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second? I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control of my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't
wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Christopher Kennedy Lawford tells how he found the way out of drug use.
If you try to control addiction, it will beat you. It will absolutely beat you. I've had that experience myself. What happened to me was a moment of clarity, a moment of grace, a moment of profound transformation that I can only describe as God as I understand Him. And that came into my life because I had been beaten down to a point where I was open enough and surrendered enough to allow grace to come into my life. That's what happened to me. The greatest gift in my life has been the ability to surrender, to give up. Because out of that comes unbelievable understanding and unbelievable compassion and unbelievable gifts.
Those overcoming addiction can use your understanding and compassion. For more help, go to findinghopeinrecovery.com from the Mennonite Churches.
Talk 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Tune in for laughs and surprises with The Boca Show. Sundays at 4, only on 1470 WNN.
So, how much should your mutual funds or 401ks lose in this last market drop? If you're sick of losing all you've gained over the years in one day, do something about it. Call Online Trading Academy in South Florida. Learn how money is made in down markets and how to protect investments. Since 1997, Online Trading Academy has taught over 100,000 students how to trade and invest online. Stocks, options, futures, forex with limited risk. Learn with the school's money, not yours. Learn from instructors who are certified, currently trade, and profitable. They show you what they do every day to make money in up, sideways, and down markets in a real classroom setting. Tired of losing money in down markets? Fix it. Attend a free class in Broward or Palm Beach to see how you can learn to trade and invest online. Online Trading Academy, South Florida. Call now, 561-674-9800. 561-674-9800. 561-674-9800.
Talk health. Talk wealth. Talk politics. Talk 1470. WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show with local celebrity hosts Steve-O and Renee. Sit back each week while Steve-O and Renee educate you with live in-studio experts, such as lawyers, doctors, home improvement, and financial experts in their field. Call in and have your questions answered each week at 888-565-1470. Now, here is Steve-O and Renee with today's expert in their field.
Hey, another Thursday without my partner in crime, Renee. She's busy working on our morning show. We're on 7 to 10. Can't tell you what station, but we're on 7 to 10 every morning on a Palm Beach County station. We have, some shows you like doing, some of them you love doing, some of them you just can't wait to get them over. We've been doing this for 3 years. This is one of those shows I love doing. You're turning red.
Come on.
You're turning red. And Mom's watching. No. We have, and I could say this because she's certified, we have the top certified family lawyer, I'd say Florida, because she's gotten cases outside of South Florida. Anyway, I want to welcome Tina Lewert of Lewert Law here in Boca. Hi, Tina.
Hi, how are you doing?
First of all, we've gotten emails about you wanting to know where you've been. And I told them it's just been crazy.
Where have I been? It was the holidays.
I know, it was the holidays. It was, we changed to Thursdays, which we've been trying to get for 2 years. This is true drive time, 5 to 6. People really get in traffic
so a new
this time.
audience.
Brand new audience. Anyway, I'm so glad to have you on the show. You've been on our other show, our morning show.
Yes, correct.
So let's start off.
Remind me, I forget. I don't know.
How do you think we feel? I want to start off because we have a lot of new people watching. And if you want to watch, and I forgot, is it on live on your website?
It's on my website. The website is www.lewertlaw.com. Lewert is spelled Lewert. So that should be
I'm glad you spelled that.
Live and running now, hopefully.
Okay, you can go to her, and if not, you can watch it right on www.wwnradio.com. First of all, just kind of introduce yourself again to everybody.
Sure. I am a family law attorney. I've been practicing in Florida for a little over 15 years. I specialize in the area of marital and family law. I'm board certified in that area, as you mentioned, which means that the Florida Bar has designated me as one of the few experts in that area of practice, marital and family law. And usually what I tell people is that that's a fancy way of saying I'm a divorce attorney. So what I specialize in is matters of divorce, all the things that encompass that. So alimony, child support, child custody, time sharing, restraining orders. We do those.
Still nothing for grandparents.
No, nothing for grandparents.
Someday.
I don't see it.
Really?
I don't see it on the radar. Well, there's an alimony reform bill that's I think it just passed the Senate the other day, so that's been in the news quite a bit, and so they're trying to modify some of it, revise some of the law pertaining to alimony, particularly sort of do away with the concept of permanent alimony, right? So that's a big deal, and part of that same bill. As part of that same bill, there are some revisions that they want to make to some of the time sharing presumptions. They want to make 50-50 the presumption, and
so there's alimony in Florida.
There's alimony in Florida.
I didn't know that.
Yes, for a very long time.
Except from Texas, and we don't have alimony.
It can be quite a bit of alimony, too. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and, there are different schools of thought on it. I mean, I'm not going to, share too many personal opinions about it. Everybody has, personal opinions and maybe some, political opinions as well about, different things. But it's a very, very hot topic. I'm getting clients, previous clients who have been awarded alimony that are, emailing me already going, okay, is this going to affect me? Well, the way that the bill is written, the way it's proposed, it wouldn't affect, you can't, a person can't file a modification case just because the law has changed. So if it passes, if it becomes the law, and I believe the effective date wouldn't be till October, but if it passes, a person who, say a former husband owes alimony, he couldn't say, oh, the law changed, I'm going to file a modification case. There has to be some other basis for him to come forward and file a modification, such as his income changed, he wants to retire, he became disabled, or, the former wife won the lottery, or she's doing better now financially, or things like that. So there has to be some other basis, but I believe the way it's written that, yes, if they file a modification case, after the effective date, that the new law would then apply to the determination of what the alimony may be, what the revised alimony may be.
Are there ever wives that pay alimony to the husbands?
Oh, sure. I know
that's not
some
unusual.
of them, and no. I mean, it is unusual. It's not impossible. Some people think, oh, that's not even a thing. Yeah, I've gotten alimony for husbands at trial before, absolutely.
Okay.
So it happens.
So if you have been paying your alimony and this law is passed, and let's just say, I'll say the wife maybe came into a lot of money, she's got a great job, they could actually possibly go in and modify?
Well, that's the law now. I mean,
Okay.
if something happens right now, you're paying, alimony, and I've done a lot of those cases too. It's actually quite common where a former, let's say, wife, for example, say the wife is receiving the alimony, the former wife gets a better job. Years pass, she comes into money. Maybe she inherits money. Maybe so whatever factual circumstances might change her quote need.
Right.
And I say need as one of the phrases
So how
in
will
the
the law,
statute.
if the law is passed, how will that change?
If the law is passed, well, the big thing about the proposed bill, and I'm not going to claim to be like super well versed.
'Cause it hasn't
I've
been
read
passed
it.
yet.
I've read it. It's not passed. I know people that are involved in coming up with this language and have worked very, very hard on this. And I'm not going to I have had nothing to do with that.
Right, I
So
understand. No.
so I so all I've done is read it and try to understand what it could mean. But yeah, the big change would be really, I think, the initial determination of alimony. So in a divorce case, in that initial first determination of alimony, there's a formula. They have a formula, which is it has to do with there are different things the court can consider, but the disparity in the incomes, and there's a formula. There's some percentage or factor times the disparity in the two parties' incomes, and then the number of years of marriage, and there's a certain range of duration that it can go to. So they're trying to really, I guess, nail down some kind of formula or formulas to apply to every single case, because right now, the way it is, alimony is very discretionary. It's one of the biggest issues we get that goes to trial because, it's very discretionary with the judge. There are different factors that the courts use to figure out, okay, what should the number be and for how long, should the recipient get alimony. But I always tell people you could put an alimony case in front of 5 different judges and get 5 different outcomes. And that's how discretionary it really is. So they're trying to just nail down some more like mathematical formula to it. And that's where the big change comes in. And I think also they want to they want to have like a maximum time duration of alimony so that there's really effectively almost no such thing anymore as permanent alimony.
We actually got a question this morning on our show.
Okay.
And they wanted to know when you were going to be back on again. And I said, well, she's actually on our other show today. This lady apparently had lived with her boyfriend for 14 years. Mm-hmm. Boyfriend's very, very wealthy. Can she get anything if they were splitting up? Nothing in writing.
They don't have children together?
Nope.
Okay.
Never got married.
Yeah. It's
it's
unfortunately the way
there's
the
not
law,
common law or
no,
anything.
Not in Florida. Not in Florida.
Okay.
That was and in some states there are, but yeah, unfortunately it's similar to 2 roommates parting ways.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've had those.
So he doesn't have to give her anything.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had those situations, and it's a harsh reality because a lot of people don't realize that, and people don't put anything, like you said, don't put anything in writing, and that's actually something that should be done, because there are a lot of people where, they find themselves in a situation where they kind of give up everything, or they sell their place to move in with the other person, and then they just do it
give
that
up
way.
their job.
And that's fine. And some people don't believe in getting married. So, and that's fine. But really, you want to have something in writing, especially if, a breakup tomorrow would affect you financially. There's got to be an
there's a lot of
arrangement
people out there in
A
this
lot.
situation.
Absolutely.
Especially here in
Absolutely.
South Florida. So what should someone do that, and let's just say they didn't give up a lot. Okay, they met someone, they both fell in love, she moves in with him, they're together for a long time. First of all, they should do it right away, I guess, and not wait.
Like some sort of like a cohabitation agreement.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is something, especially for a female,
Mm-hmm.
I think that they should think about doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that, right? You would take care of putting an agreement together.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you think about down here with a lot of money down here.
And I see quite a few people, and a lot of cases that I have are what we call paternity cases. So the people that live together and they're a couple and they have children together, and I rarely, if ever, have seen couples that have anything in writing until they split up, and then they're like, oh, okay, wait, we need to
if there's kids involved, then it's different.
If there are children involved, you're going to have something. You're going to need to have something in writing and have a court order for time sharing and all the parental rights and the decision making and what school district is going to whose address is going to govern for school district purposes and things like that people don't think of. Who's going to get the dependency exemption on their federal tax returns every year? Are they going to alternate? There's a lot. There's so many details. Who's going to pay for extracurricular activities, or how are they going to divide that up? Who's going to carry the health insurance? So when you have a child together and you're splitting up, there's a lot more to deal with, obviously, but it needs to go into a parenting plan and then ultimately a court order. So and child support, not to mention. So they see a lot of cases like that.
I imagine, especially down here. Now, what about prenup? Should everybody get a prenup if there's a lot of assets?
Yes. Well, not even. Even if there are not a lot of assets, even if there are, in my opinion, even if there are no assets.
Yours is what counts here.
Well, yeah, because people get married, and I know that the age of marriage is getting higher. I don't have the statistic on that, but I know generally people are getting married a little later in life. But if it's even if a first, listen, a lot of people don't do this, and a lot of people still won't do it. I'll say it, and people will hear it and still won't do it.
Why is it to save money? Because it's going to end up costing a lot more in the long run.
Something you just said is very important. You said, if they have a lot of assets. Some people think, I'm getting married, I'm young or youngish, and I don't have anything, so who cares? Yeah, but you may get some stuff. you don't have it now, but you may have it later. Or just in general, people don't think, they have a job and maybe they contribute something really tiny to a 401k, and they don't think, okay, I'm going to get married and half of what I contribute during my marriage is going to be marital, all of it's going to be marital, half of it's going to go to the other spouse if we get a divorce. Just things like that people don't think of, and then 10 years down the road or more or less or whatever, they're getting divorced, and I have to educate them on those things, what's marital, what's non-marital, and joint bank accounts, and they realize there's a lot more to split up, or there could be things that they made that they made marital that were previously non-marital by commingling money earned during the marriage with non-marital assets, and it can really be complicated. So people think, I have nothing, so who cares? That could change, obviously, and that's another reason. But I think, and a lot of people do, prenups more when there's a second or third marriage, because they want to make sure that, they also simultaneously will do like their estate planning. They want to make sure that, if they have children or adult children, a lot more people that are doing second and third marriages have children from other relationships that they want to think about and protect, and they want their assets to go to the children as opposed to the soon-to-be ex-spouse. So, there are a lot of reasons to do a prenup, but it's really just a level of protection that makes a lot of things easier, including if you get a divorce, all your issues are already resolved, so there's no litigation.
We're going to go to break in just a second, but I want you to think about this. When we come back, I remember I met so many women who said, gosh, I had a bad lawyer, I shouldn't have settled for what I did. It's like years later, they look back and go, why did I settle? And I want to talk about that because I think that's important because, it wasn't just like a few people. There were so many women that I would meet and they go, I was too nice a guy. We spent all of our time together and we did everything together. And I just was too nice. And I didn't realize it at first, but years later, I look back on it. And I think it's so important that they get someone really, really good like yourself to represent them. And the certified thing, listen, there's lawyers who go, don't say I'm an expert and I can't. But when you're certified like you are, you can.
Right.
It's really important. You got to get this right the first time. And that's what I want to talk about when we come back. We're going to go to break and we'll be right back with attorney Tina Lewert.
Lewert Law Offices is proud to be the family law expert on the Ask the Expert show. Attorney Tina Lewert is a board-certified specialist in marital and family law. Attorney Lewert is committed to obtaining the best resolution for your divorce or other family law case by consistently providing skilled representation, expert legal advice, and personal attention. Attorney Lewert has developed an excellent reputation for providing effective divorce and family law representation in Boca Raton and the surrounding communities. Lewert Law Offices offers legal advice and representation in a wide range of family law matters, including divorce, child custody, time sharing and visitation, child support, alimony, complex asset distribution, post-judgment modifications, and paternity actions. For expert representation in all aspects of divorce and family law, contact Attorney Tina Lewert today at 561-544-6861 or visit www.lewertlaw.com.
And we're back. We're sitting here talking about my divorce. But this is why it is so important to get someone good. I used a college friend that we were in a fraternity together. It's
I'm
just
sure
a
he
divorce.
was a nice guy.
Well, he was a great, nice guy. But listen, he didn't handle my divorce right. And I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if, I expect him. He knows what he's doing. But it's so important that they get someone who's really good like yourself, because it could end up costing you so much money down the road. Mm-hmm. I mean, you must have a long checklist.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things that, just a lawyer, I mean, forget board certified for a second. Board certified means that you specialize in a high level of a high percentage of your practice is
and this
family
is all
law.
you do, really.
Right,
it's
right.
Just
And
family
you've
law.
met a lot of other qualifications and things to attain that level. But just any lawyer, I always tell people, you need whether it's me or someone else,
right.
Get someone who does just this, really, because it's something where these are all the biggest issues in your life. Where you're going to live, your children, your the division of your assets, how much money you're going to have to live on. I mean, these are major things, obviously, and there are so many intricacies to the law and nuances and like you said, checklists. I mean, things to think about, issues to think about, to look for down the road that a good lawyer knows that, someone who, I mean, no disrespect, but someone who doesn't practice family law, who takes it as a favor or a friend, whatever.
Oh, they do criminal law and
miss
PI.
Things. They miss things. And I see it all the time, and it's really unfortunate because it's a disservice to the person going through the divorce. It really.
So you work strictly, there's a family law court. I know there is in Palm Beach.
Yeah, there's a family law division.
Okay.
Correct.
And that's, you
just like
go
there's a
before
criminal
those
division,
judges.
there's a civil division, and then there's a family law
So
division.
they must know you.
Yeah, I mean,
how many judges are there?
Some of them. Oh God, you know what? I don't even know how many there are.
Oh, there are
I probably
a lot.
should know that. Well, in Palm Beach County,
yes.
We've got there are 3 family law judges in the South County courthouse. I think there are, I don't know, 4 or 5.
Oh,
in the
there's
main
different
courthouse.
courthouses
Different
for Palm Beach
courthouses,
County.
right? So. I'm not honestly. I hate to say it. I don't know
But
exactly
some
how
of them
many.
recognize you
It's a
because you're-
community. It's a small community. You go in, and yes, I mean the judges that have been on the bench for a while. I walk in, and they say hello, Tina, and that's nice. But in Palm Beach County, they do something a little different than in some of the other counties. They rotate the judges usually every about 2 years. So the judge will serve in family law, and then they'll go from family law to criminal, and then from criminal to civil, and then maybe back to family law. Or maybe you'll get a new judge who's coming into family law that's never been a judge before. So they come in and they come out, and
you practice in Broward too.
Correct.
I want
in Broward,
everybody
yeah.
to know
So
that.
the same thing that some of the judges rotate out, some of them retire, but you get to know. Some of the judges I know better than others because I practice in front of them, more just by happenstance because the cases are assigned sort of randomly to judge, to each judge. So, but it's.
But if they
the
change
judges
every 2 years,
the judges know the family lawyers. They know
Okay.
which people are there, which people do this every day, and absolutely. I mean, I'd like to think I'm one of those people.
when we look for a lawyer, because I've been working with lawyers for so long, I have learned that you get someone that is all they do. They don't have a boutique, even personal injury. I don't want someone who does bankruptcy and criminal, and I love the idea that this is all you do. So, I mean, the ins and outs. But again, we were talking, I said, I have it's women. I haven't really had that many men tell me that they were so sorry that they didn't listen to their attorney or their attorney did not give them good advice, and they kind of just took what they just to get it over with.
Yeah,
a lot of women said that they did it, they just wanted to get it over with,
Yeah.
and those are the ones that are so sorry now.
Yeah, I mean, and I talk to people all the time that say that, and men and women both. I mean, I gave up the farm in my divorce, or I gave up this, or I felt guilty, or I felt bad, so I did this. And some people, frankly, they just wanted to get it done.
Yes.
Some people wanted to stop the bleeding financially because it can be expensive.
Right.
It's very expensive to litigate. And so, the more the case goes on and the more the issues are contested, the more expensive it is. And so, people settle their cases for different reasons. Sometimes that can be an okay decision. It's the person who has to live with it,
Right.
and so as long as they're getting good legal advice and they know what their rights are and they know what the attorney says, okay, well, here's what we could do in court, here's what may happen,
give them
here's
all
what
the
may
options.
not happen, here's what's crazy, here's what's reasonable and unreasonable. As long as they have a good attorney who can do that, then they're still free to say, okay, thank you, attorney, for that advice, but I want to do this. I mean, some people do that, and I get it. I mean, this is heartbreaking when people are going through it. I mean,
I don't see how you do it.
It's
Because attorneys I'd worked with, a lot of them said, I had to get out of doing family law.
Yeah.
I could not take it.
Yeah.
It's just, you've got to have certain...
It's not for everyone, and it is a rough area of the law, and it can be stressful, sure, but if you care about what you're doing and you care about people and you try to put yourself in your client's shoes a little bit, just a little bit, because I try to keep in really good contact with people. I usually, at some point, my clients are generally going to get my cell phone number.
Right.
So, because like I always tell people, family law doesn't end at 5:00 on Friday.
Exactly.
If I'm away, if I'm on a trip or something, or if it's the weekend, or if it's a holiday, people may need me. People may have a question. Some issue may come up. Holiday time sharing exchange. I'm getting phone calls. On Christmas morning and things like that. It's happened, and it's just part of the job. But that's.
We've been doing this for about a year, and I got to tell you something. I love your personality, because if I'm hiring an attorney, listen, I want someone who's knowledgeable, but I want someone who's understanding, who I could communicate with, and you're so easy to communicate with. And now, God, I wish mine was a friend, but I mean, Renee told me about her attorney, and hard to communicate with, but you can just tell that you have a passion for this, which is very important. I mean, you went and did extra schooling just to say that you're board certified, so this must be very important to you.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's not for everybody. It can be rough some days, but it's what I do, and I feel that it's something I'm good at, and I feel
and
that
you stayed at it.
Yeah, I've stayed at it, and I offer a lot to my clients. So that's. So here I am. But and I tell people that too. When you're interviewing attorneys, and I always tell people, absolutely interview a few. I mean, talk to a few attorneys, and you have to feel comfortable. And sometimes people may not feel comfortable with me. I mean, I have a lot of people say what you're saying. I know, but every attorney has their own style and their own strategy and their own way of handling cases, and personalities have to click. And so you're going to, especially in family law, in this area of law with this type of case, you're going to be communicating a lot with your attorney. So I tell people, talk to several and just feel things out so that you know you're hiring the right person.
But how do people know what kind of questions to ask?
They don't. They may not. I mean, I have people that come to me with a list of questions and
Really?
they check them off.
Okay.
Yes, and then I have people that are like, okay, ask me questions. What do you want to know? Tell me why. What do I do? Why am I here? And so again, a good attorney
Do
will be
male
able to
have
do that.
different questions than the females do? Because I know you do both.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, and like you said, yes. I hate to. Not to sound sexist, but yes, in our society, there's still a larger percentage of men who are the primary breadwinner than there are women. So I have, from the men's perspective, they're always going, okay, how much am I going to have to give? And women are always going, how much am I going to get? How am I going to be? And not from a greedy standpoint, but usually it's funny because I always tell people both sides, both parties in a case, in a divorce case, are worried about the same thing. Am I going to be okay when this is over? How am I financially is one aspect of it, but how's this going to work out for me? And am I going to be okay? Am I going to be able to live, separately and after this is all over? So
Now, once someone has decided they want to file for divorce. They can't just file for divorce in a couple days. It's done. You told me you have to go to take a course before. You have to go. You can't. There's a. So I'm calling it a course, but you have to. There's a time that you have to. What am I thinking?
Think so. I don't know.
So if I decide I want a divorce, can I get a divorce in a week or 2 weeks if there's no problems with assets?
No, there's actually, I believe part of the statutes is that you have to file a petition. So you file a petition, and there's some documents that go with it. This is a no-fault state, so you have to allege certain things in the petition. If you have children, you have to file a financial affidavit along with your initial petition. You have to file it. The other party has to get served with those documents. Sometimes that alone, takes a week or two, something like that. And then the other party has to file an answer. They have 20 days to file their answer, and the case cannot be finalized until that happens, until the pleadings are closed.
I thought there was some kind of grace period in case someone changed their mind in the middle, right at the end. They changed their mind and they reconciled.
No, but that happens. There's no, official, they can, then that happens. Sometimes I've had people with a divorce case going on for a couple years and they decide, let's give this another shot. And they're still in the middle of their case.
Is that because of assets or because someone was holding out for more? Or? Why would someone go 2 years?
Oh, why is the case going on that long?
Yes.
Or why they decide to reconcile after that long?
No, why does the case go on that long?
It depends. I mean, there can be a lot of, sometimes one party or both can cause delay. They can drag their feet on producing discovery. They can, fight tooth and nail over what, documents they have to produce. A lot of times when you have somebody who has a business, they don't want you to see their books and records, and they come up with all kinds of reasons to object and file motions and not get the business entity involved or something like that. Sometimes it's
then that's when forensics would come up and try to find maybe hidden assets.
And sometimes people try to settle. They go to mediation. They go to another mediation. Oh, okay.
Is there a mediation before the final divorce decree?
Not always, but very typically. I mean, before you can get in front of a judge, in Palm Beach County, before you can get in front of a judge on almost anything, you have to go to mediation.
Oh, okay.
So in Broward County, you don't need to go to mediation. You can get a temporary relief hearing, like if you need temporary child support or alimony or something during the case, you can get a hearing on that before mediation. In Palm Beach County, you have to go to mediation first. But, some cases, like you kind of mentioned, settle very quickly. We call that uncontested when the parties kind of agree and they have to do a whole marital settlement agreement outlining all the terms of what they agreed to. But some cases resolve without mediation, but most of them will go to mediation. Sometimes we do 2 and 3 mediations and they still don't settle. And that's where you have cases that drag on for a long time.
Well, God, 30 minutes goes by so fast.
No, it's not over.
Give everybody your phone number.
I'm going to stay.
Oh, that would be wonderful. We're doing foreclosures next.
Oh, I don't know
anything
about that.
That kind of has something to do with
he's
family.
In there.
But give everybody your phone number.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's 561-544-6861.
And your website address.
The website is www.lewertlaw.com. Lewert is spelled Lewert.
And she doesn't know this yet, but next week she's going to be on our Steve-O and Renee morning show on a different station. We're going to get that worked out because I love having you on. Anyhow, Tina's with us every month, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Love you coming on. How was that, Mom?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go to break. Yeah, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to do our foreclosure of Ask the Experts with Gil Belu of Belu & Belu. We will be right back.
Lewert Law Offices is proud to be the family law expert on the Ask the Expert show. Attorney